What is happening folders? Nope, I forgot what my intro was. What is folding folders? Any better? This is episode 3 for paper review. Now we're going to be looking at ORIGAMI. Now this is again classified as one of the best papers, and because it has that name, it is also expensive as well. It probably isn't in everyone's price range. We'll get to that in a second. ORIGAMI and ORIGAMI are classified as the two best papers out there, and we're basically going to be reviewing this paper. This is what the paper comes in when you order it. Of course, I don't have the tube for it. It comes in a tube as well to protect it. I did order this, I think like 2 years ago. I've actually never used them. I don't really know what to use it for. Let's take it out. I think they're all here. So we have obviously the green, sort of terracotta. I did cut the square on this one. And some other wee off cuts. Is there another one? I can't remember what the other colour was. Oh yeah, no, that's the same one as that. Oh, the white, yeah, right, it's staring right in front of me. We have 4 colours. These are the colours that I bought. We have white, light green, a darker shade, I'm not entirely sure what the name for that is called, and we have the terracotta. Now I ordered these a few years ago, never really had the use for them. I did use the white. The 4 sheets that I ordered were the super thin option. This is what it comes like. This is like the off-cut from the square. It's a super thin. What size is it again? It's quite big, yeah. Maybe 60 centimetres by obviously 60. Maybe like 60 by 80 centimetres. So you do get quite a large sheet of paper. The 4 sheets that I ordered were the super thin option. I went with super thin because I didn't want something that would be too thick, and I wasn't entirely sure how it would look, how it would turn out. So I went with the super thin because it probably meets a lot more models and options to fold from, in my opinion. So I went with the super thin on all 4 of them, and this one is the luster, or maybe hard to show. Maybe quite tricky to show. Let me try and zoom in. No, I can't really see it. But it's got a slight shine to it. Maybe from this angle. You can see it fine from looking at it, but it's just trying to show it to the camera. I've only used the white so far. Haven't finished the model, which I really should get back to doing that, but I'll show that in a second. Again, if you can't already tell, it is really crisp. Now this paper, at the time that I bought it, was $18 for one sheet, which is like £15. But it recently went up to $20 for one full sheet, probably like £17 in my currency. So it's probably not in everyone's price range, because it is quite expensive. I mean, it is a handmade paper. The people that make this, again, have the right to judge what they feel is right, and if that doesn't suit everyone, then that's what it is. It probably won't suit everyone as well, but I mean, it's a handmade product, so it's entirely up to the people that make it to judge what they feel is appropriate and what they would be happy to sell it for, basically. Now the paper is super crisp, we can't already tell. It is really thin, maybe just under double tissue, above single but under double. I mean, if single tissue is like 16 GSM, or is it, yeah, but 16, double was, I don't know, like 32, 30. This is probably like around about like 22. Though I've no idea exactly how thick it is. Maybe it says it on the website, I'm not entirely sure. But it is really thin. But I would personally not use this for an insect because I feel it is too thick for an insect. That's just my opinion. The insects that I have seen people fold from this is, again, this is my honest opinion, but it's way too thick. And I'm not really a fan of using the paper that's too thick for models that require thin paper. And just because it's origami doesn't mean it's suitable for all models, and especially because it's the super thin option. And in my opinion, it doesn't really apply to insects, but that's just me. And of course, when you cut the full square from this sheet, you have about like 15cm off cut. So basically, like that. Just try and flatten this. So you'll get a large sheet, basically this size, which is really good as well. So again, that is a perfect size for a lot of models. Now, because the paper is handmade, as you don't already know, it can come in various thicknesses throughout the paper. That's what most sellers say on their website and on the Origami Shop website for ORIGAMI, because it's handmade, the sheets vary in thickness. And what that means is, if you don't know, then just say the right hand side is really thin, then the left hand side could be slightly thicker or slightly thinner. Either or, it can be mixed out throughout the sheet, or you could be really lucky and get a perfectly even thickness sheet. So because this paper is really thin and also it is pretty crisp, the option to MC it is maybe not necessary. You don't need to MC it. I went through a phase a few years back that I thought I had to MC every single sheet of paper that I had, and then it's not really the case. If you feel it's crisp, then go for it. MCing just makes it stronger. It doesn't make it thinner. It makes it stronger. It makes it easier to fold with. You could, like, once you cut a square, just cut a wee square off and just do some practice folds. You'll get a rough idea of how it folds, how it reacts to folding, how it reacts to reversing creases. Even just do a small grid and just practice doing grids. You'll get a rough idea from it. Because it is expensive paper, you don't want to screw up depending on what you're folding. Also, when you MC paper, it warps. So if the paper hasn't been sized, most likely you'll get wrinkles. So you'll be able to put it on perfectly, and then 10 seconds later you'll start to see slight ripples. So if you aren't prepared to get rid of those, then you'll get wrinkles in the paper, which I'll show when I do the ORIGAMI review. I MC'd a perfectly crisp sheet of paper which did not need to be treated, but I did anyway because I thought I had to, and then it slightly ruined it, in my opinion, which I regret doing, but I got a fantastic model out of it, so I'm super happy with that. The base for the model was Satoshi Kamiya's Pegasus, which I really need to finish. I did a tutorial of this like a year ago, but in my honest opinion, when I was folding with this, I found the paper to be quite weak. I didn't find it to be crisp or strong, especially when doing like level shifters, like here. I found the paper to be not strong enough to hold position as good as I wanted. I had everything pre-creased, everything good to go, all the creases reversed, so that made the process of folding super easy, but the paper didn't want to keep to its word. So again, that's just my opinion. I didn't find the paper as good to fold with, so I'm going to try the other paper as well to give me a better chance at using it. Again, it's really hard to show the shine. Maybe you'll see it through the tutorial better, which I'll link on the screen right now if you want to have a quick look at that. yeah, so that's just what I think. The paper seems really crisp before folding, but when you start to add creases and add grids and add this and that and then collapse it, it does start to get a little bit weaker in my opinion. But I will finish this off and then see how it actually all goes. What should I make with these colours? I'm not entirely sure with the green. I think there's a darker one. I could do Shuke's dinosaur with the long neck. I think that would look really nice. Or Katsua's owl. I think that would look really nice as well. Maybe an elephant, but I think it's too dark for an elephant. No, I could backput it with white and then... No, but then I would need to MC that and then I don't want to risk it. I forgot to mention that the paper does not come square. So, like most handmade papers, they probably don't want to cut it themselves. I'll show you on the white. If you don't know what that means is, the edges are all ruffled, so it's not a perfectly straight edge. So you could not start folding with this as soon as you get it. So you need to be prepared to have your own cutting mat or whatever device you use to cut your paper. You will need to cut your own squares. So just bear that in mind. And if you don't have the tools to do that, it's super helpful if you do. It doesn't cost a lot and it will pay back in the long run because you don't need to worry about getting paper that isn't square or isn't perfect or it has rough edges. It's a great investment to buy. And that is it. I hope I explained everything in this paper review. If you've got any questions, please do ask them in the comments. I will do my best to answer. And if I've missed anything out, or if you want me to cover more things in paper reviews, let me know in the description. And yeah, that is it. I will see you in the next video. I went through a phase that I had to MC every